Studying the Vedas helps us understand what might have been the life in those days. So, when we are thinking about equality, we think about rights mostly. So, opportunities for education, opportunities for work, opportunities for different things in life, opportunities to have choice, freedom of choice are considered to be marks of equality and respect. So that's what we find when we read the Vedas. Women have opportunities to express themselves, freedom of choice. They were given a choice with regard to the events in their life, their marriage, their life, their education, their professional practice. So we have a number of women and number of examples in the Vedas. We have women who have studied quite high, learned the Vedas. The understanding is that modern understanding is that Vedas are not allowed to be studied by women, by some people, and that's not what. When we see the Vedas actually offer to everyone um, who is willing to do that. Willing to study Vedas requires a lot of hard work, lot of commitment, lot of practice also. So it was offered to anyone that was willing to take it. So women also had a right to do that. And we have Maitrayaniya Samhita, and um, we have number of women that we can see in the Vedas who have studied quite well, who have held discussions on the Vedas, knowledge of the Vedas, which tells us there is equal rights, number of choices for women.
We also had women who used to go out to war, like you had Keki,
Yeah,
or you had yeah, she was the one who saved Dashrath's
yeah,
life, and then you also had Subhadra, who I believe was she served as Sri Krishna's
yeah,
charioteer in a particular
yeah,
war.
yeah. Satyabhama also.
So none of this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So none of this was, it wasn't anything new. Like women were not denied any
Right,
rights.
right. Women learned the things that were of interest to them. If they are really interested in Vedic education, they got to study Vedas. If they are interested in studying the Shastras, they got to study the Shastras. So different professions were
Oh,
available to them. They practiced different professions. Yeah.
okay. Bringing this forward, fast forwarding this to modern times, what do you make out of modern Bharatiya women and how they are carrying forward this Vedic lineage, especially with respect to the wrestlers' protest, which is being spearheaded by women wrestlers like Vinesh Phogat and Sakshi Malik? What do you make of the protest?
Right. We don't know actually what was the issue of the protest because the investigation is still on. They have constituted a committee. So the issue we cannot discuss, but because it's under investigation. But women's rights, respect to women is embedded in our culture. The fact that we have women wrestlers, not just from Uttarakhand, from also other places, and women weightlifters from southern India, uh, practicing professions that are mostly associated with male is is itself an evidence that women's practice or women's practice of certain professions is not prohibited. It was not prohibited. In fact, there are examples from Vijayanagara Empire. Vijayanagara Empire is a large empire in 13th to 15th centuries in southern India. Of course, there are examples in ancient India also, Shatavahana and all that. But Vijayanagara Empire, there are a number of visitors who came to visit Sri Krishna Devaraya, and they have written the women. bodyguards of Sri Krishnadevaraya, and then women guards of the palace, and women in different professions. Of course, they're dancers and all that, but in addition to that, there are also poetesses. There are, lots of kavyas were composed by the women during that time, 13th to 15th century. Ramayana is composed by one of the poetesses, Mulla, in Telugu at the time, and Ganga Devi is another well-known poetess in that time, and of course they also talked about warrior queens. So Ganga Devi accompanied and went to the battlefield. So similar stories are known, similar history is known. So ancient history, of course, we know, and 15th, 16th centuries also we know that women practiced and women learned these things. It's only after drastic colonization and drastic cultural change that happened, after 16th century, that things have changed. But everything is coming back to what it was. Women are entering many fields of education, sports, as well as other arts and culture. Um, so with the wrestlers, that's what you would see. Women have taken on the challenges and participated and learned many of these things, wrestling as well as weightlifting, and many of the things that are considered as the forte of the men. But um, but their active involvement also shows that.
Right. But would you say that the scale of gender balance, it's now tilting, it's not exactly equal. It's now, in fact, tilting against men also in some
Yeah.
places.
The draconian draconian laws enacted. Some of the laws, like the 498A, were drastic, which do not give any recourse to the men, and all the rights to women. So any law that is enacted should actually give equal recourse to men and women. So giving only one side of recourse to one and not giving any representation for the other, of course, is going to lead to issues. So, yeah. So there is some issues that are happening in the modern day.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.